And we are live here at Sports Break in Greenwood, South Carolina. It is the Flying Fleet Gridiron Revival Coaches Show. I'm Benji Greason here with the head coach of the Flying Fleet, Coach Shap Boyd. How you doing today, Coach?
Benji, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to be here as usual.
That's right. That's right. One of our favorite stops here. We'll be back at Sports Break a few times this fall, and really appreciate all the hospitality and getting us set up here on the main stage. We got some visitors on the show tonight. We're going to have Seneca McKee join us. Of course, he had a huge game. We'll get to that in just a minute. Going to have Coach Howard on with us, and Hope Seymour going to be in with us as well. And then we're going to get a big preview coming up for the game with Barton this coming Saturday, the home opener here, J.W. Babb Stadium in Greenwood for the Flying Fleet. And cannot wait to get back in the saddle with a home game here coming up this week.
No doubt. It's the first of 7 home games.
Right.
So we're going to have plenty of opportunity and plenty of chances to showcase in that stadium over there. So looking forward to it.
So, yeah, we took a trip to Catawba to play Catawba, Salisbury, North Carolina this past Saturday. First game of the season. And Flying Fleet, man, I tell you, I got to watch and just couldn't be more proud of the effort and the tenacity and the grit to really hang in there at the end. Even when it looked like it was getting away, you guys come back and tied it in the fourth quarter, the chance to win this ball game.
Yeah, it was kind of it was an interesting game to be part of, but I guess the biggest thing is that I never really sensed at any point that our kids were flustered or whatever. I mean, they got a little at times. You could see them like have moments of
a little frustration,
or whatever. But overall, they were very resilient, and they just kind of stayed the course. And ultimately, we just kind of hung around, and we had a chance. If we'd maybe we needed to make a couple more plays on defense at the end to kind of make it so that we really could have been there at the end. So.
Some key numbers from the game. We'll be talking to wide receiver Seneca McKee here in just a little while. Monster game. The sophomore, 7 catches, 176 yards, including the second quarter touchdown there. Your quarterback, Craig Pender, throws for 334 and 3 touchdowns. And you outgained Catawba through the air, 334 to 127. Big lopsided margin there. And Coach, what were some things, some positive things you took away from the game? I know, of course, you wanted to come out on top on the scoreboard there, but you had to be pleased again with the overall effort, right?
Well, I guess the big thing is we talk about a 60-minute game, and I absolutely believe that our kids played a 60-minute game. I don't think we started the game the way we needed to, but I think we did play a 60-minute game. So I think as far as that goes, I think our kids will play hard. I think they'll do some of those things. Execution has to improve. And then obviously the thing that we needed to do in the spring, we need to do better is we need to finish. And that's a process, and I think we're trending in the right direction, but we're not there. I mean, we got some work to do.
Small mistakes, fumbles in critical situations. Those things have to drive you crazy.
Yeah, well, there's never a good time for a turnover, so unless you're the one getting it. So,
right.
That's one of those things that I think as we mature, as we grow, one of the things we need to do is take care of the ball. And I think that's something that I know it's something that we work on. It's something our coaches work on with our kids. And I think our kids understand the importance of it. And it's just a matter of making sure that we're doing a little better job with that. And then conversely of that, we need to create more turnovers. We had 2, I guess, but 2's not enough. I mean, our goal always stated is that we're going to have 3. So we came up short there. So ultimately, it's about that, and we got to create more, but we also can't give the ball away.
Right. We in seeing the game, your linebackers are very active. Brandon Lane, Nolan Holland, especially. Those 2 guys flying all over the place. I think Lane ended up with like 10 tackles in the game. Anytime you have a double-digit tackle, that's pretty good. Defensive line kind of giving those guys some room to roam around and make some plays.
The defensive line is a little deeper than what it's been. I mean, I was talking to our defense Sunday, and I said, I don't think we have, that standout marquee guy yet. I mean, we may grow that kid up. I mean, he's maybe in the program and he becomes that kid. But right now, we're just a lot of guys playing together, and I think we're probably 2 to 3 deep as far as rolling kids in on the defensive line. We couldn't do that last spring.
Right.
And and then the linebacker situation is better than what it was in the spring as well. I mean, we have competent twos that can go in and do some things. So, and Mr. Holloway has absolutely stepped up his game. I mean, he's put on weight. He's dialed in. He's absolutely he's having a great fall camp.
Right.
And into this first game, he's really turned himself into a different player. He's making the right reads. He's downhill, and again, he's a little bit of a load. So, I'm pleased to see how he's progressed.
Well, it showed up during the game because he was everywhere. Defensive backfield as well. They hardly even targeted Timoni over there. He seemed like he kind of had that side locked down.
He's kind of becoming that. He's kind of a quiet little. He ain't little.
Yeah, I was about to say little.
He's slender. He's slight. But little would not be the right way to phrase it. So anyway, and then the one they did target, that the deep ball that was caught. We have to do a better job finishing on that ball. But I'm not going to take anything away from that quarterback. He dropped that ball in there, and there was no room to drop it in, and that was a pretty good throw. So, can we defend it better? Possibly. I would like to think so, but ultimately it was still pretty darn good effort on their part.
You're only trailing 17-10 going into the break, going into halftime. You got to feel pretty. I mean, obviously you don't want to be losing going in, but the halftime score is not important at all. What did you tell the guys in the locker room before you come back out? Because, I mean, they came out kind of full of fire there in the second half.
Well, just that, I mean, it was 17-10, and it was self-inflicted. I mean, they hadn't really done anything other than what we allowed them to do. And we allowed them to put points on the board that really shouldn't have been there. And when our team decides it's going to stop shooting itself in the foot, then I think you're going to see the real, what I would say would be the real flying fleet.
Right.
Right now it can be really, really good at times, and then it can sputter.
You see flashes, definitely.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. So, we just have to, again, stay the course. And ultimately, it's going to come down to how we progress from week 1 to week 2. And usually you should progress quite a bit between those two.
That's exactly what I was about to ask. You hear the older cliche that football teams progress more between week 1 and week 2 normally than any other jump in the season, and you're expecting to see that this week against Barton, right?
No doubt. I mean, ultimately, you think you know where your weaknesses are, and you think you know where your strengths are, and you go into that first game because you get kind of lulled to sleep going against your own people. And then you go into that first game, and all of a sudden it's like, wow. That's a plus.
Yeah.
Didn't know we had that negative, but
Right.
but it sheds light on the subject in a way that you hadn't necessarily seen before, and so then you get to busy working on those things, which enables you to hopefully change the trajectory of how you improve, and most schools I think do.
Are you guys as a coaching staff? Are you still trying to find maybe your best 5 on the O line, or are there receivers? Young Lee steps up. That's a name nobody really saw.
Young Lee year. Was he's I'm not saying he's a pleasant surprise because I think we knew that he was a talent. So, but he definitely has stepped up. I think we kind of have an idea who can and who can't at this point. And we have a lot of kids that can, they just can't do it yet.
Gotcha.
They can't do it now.
Mm-hmm.
We have some kids in the program that are going to be fine players. They're just not ready to play yet.
Yeah.
And you stop and think about it. These cats that are playing for us now, most of them that have been in the program, they've already been here for 2 years. This is going into their 3rd year. So,
right. First real fall football season.
So it's really a junior versus a freshman when you look at it that way. So, I do believe that we're finding out which kids can compete now, and there's a difference between being and ready to play means they're ready to compete now. So I do think we are finding out a little bit about some kids right now, and that's a positive thing. And we're going to find out a lot more this coming week too. So
another positive takeaway from the game: special teams look great. Connected on some field goals, our extra points were solid. Kickoff coverage, the whole nine there looked great.
Well, you can talk to Coach Howard about that. He'll be up here in a second. He's our special teams coordinator and our linebackers coach. And you know, it's funny. The perception or perspective from the stands versus the perspective on the sideline doesn't always match. Yeah. But you know, yes, I do think that it was. Anytime special teams can be uneventful, that isn't necessarily a bad thing.
If they're not in the headlines, it's good.
You know, now could we have done some other stuff? Yeah, we could have blocked some kicks, and then I think we had a very questionable call that took a block away that really kind of removed any opportunity for us to really climb back into that game in the last few minutes of that game. So, you know, that's a whatever. But I do believe that as a collective group, they did a very solid job. We have a lot of improvements to do there as well, but it certainly was a solid job.
About 4.5 minutes in the game, you're trailing by a score. And this is a very well-established Catawba team. The Catawba program has been there. They're in the SAC. I mean, they've been playing for, a long time. And to take this team up there and with 4.5 minutes left, 34-27. I mean, you really had a shot there at the end.
We definitely had a shot. Yeah. And, again, it's just
all you can hope for.
It's just making a play. And ultimately, we hung around long enough. They let us hang around long enough, however you want to put it. But, we stayed in the game, and our offense, got going in that third quarter pretty darn well. Yeah. And that helped us kind of climb back in. And it was one of those things where all we can ask for is to have an opportunity late. We had an opportunity late, and it is what it is.
Well, Coach, we're going to have you talked about the offense getting a jump start there in the third quarter. We're going to have one of the main cogs to that offense, Seneca McKee, join us here in just a moment. Also, Coach Howard will be in with us, and Coach Schapp will be back in just a little while to preview the game with Barton coming up here. Home game, J.W. Babb Stadium in Greenwood this coming Saturday. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. I think the parking lot's open at, 10 a.m. for tailgating? It's early. I don't know.
That's one of the things I'm not worried about.
But anyway, tickets are available. Go to ErskineSports.com. You can pick up your tickets to come see the Flying Fleet in their home opener this coming Saturday. And tonight, come on down to Sports Break. We're live right here until 8 o'clock. It's the Flying Fleet Gridiron Revival Coaches Show with Coach Schapp Boyd. Coach, we're going to jump out. We'll get Seneca on with us, and we'll be right back with more in just a moment. Receiver for the Erskine Flying Fleet, Seneca, man, good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Absolutely. We you were on with us once last year, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you keep churning out these 170-yard games. You're going to be on with us just about every week. We're not going to be able to. We just have to give you your own headset. Talk to us a little bit about the preparation you had coming into the game for against Catawba.
The preparation, well, since we came in over the summer and moved in for camp, we just been working. It's just been up from there. We put in the work, and we just we came out short, but we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times early in the game. So we just have to execute a couple plays, clean up some things, and we should be good going on in the season.
7 catches, 176 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that's it's almost PlayStation numbers. You and your quarterback, Craig Pender, seem to be on the same page. You guys can you look at each other and just kind of know what's coming, right?
For sure, yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you have option routes and stuff like that you guys use a lot?
Yes, sir. We have various amount of play calls that gives me a little bit more freedom to run the open grass.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's really neat. You're originally out of Columbia, South Carolina, right?
Yes, sir.
Ridgeview High School.
Yes, sir.
And this is your, sophomore season here?
Yes.
Redshirt sophomore? Redshirt sophomore season. Yes, Seneca McKee here on with us. Seneca, you got a big home game coming up this coming Saturday against Barton. Now, you guys went up, and that was the first win of the year last year was against Barton on their turf. Got to feel like they might be coming back for some revenge this year.
For sure. We know that they're going to be hungry for a win. Yeah. But like I said, we've been working. We work hard, so we should come out on top.
What's a practice day like for you? I know you guys y'all work at it really hard. And what's a typical day for you as a college football player at Erskine?
Typical practice day?
or just a typical day where you have practice?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So wake up in the morning, go get some breakfast.
What time's that start?
I wake up usually around 8.
Okay,
My first class on a Monday starts at 9.
I got you.
Then I have a class at 10 and 11. Then I have a class at 12.
Oh man,
Cause
that's full load.
yeah.
Yeah, what's your major?
Sports management.
Okay, cool.
Well, I chose that schedule because Tuesday and Thursdays I don't have a class. I had the day off, kind of,
Gotcha.
other than practice and working out.
Yeah.
So I stacked them all in one day. So after my last class, go get something to eat. Usually have a meeting, special teams meeting, position meeting. Go over film, go over what we're going on in practice. So then we start practice at 3:30. Get out there. We first start with wide receivers. So we just go warm up, go to ladder drills, some catching drills. Then we stretch, team stretch, and then we'll run a win. That's that's a big period. It's important. A lot of people hate it, but it's important because Coach emphasizes how we have to be more conditioned than any other team,
Right.
especially with the offense we run. So we have to make a big play. Everybody run out of field, and we have to be able to make another play.
I call it the gas pedal offense.
Yeah, yes,
I mean,
sir.
you guys, your foot stays on the gas pedal.
Oh, yes, sir.
You pick and choose your times to kind of slow it down and be methodical with it. But for the most part, the time you catch the ball, I mean, you're running back and getting into position.
Yes, sir. It keeps a lot of defenses on their feet. It doesn't give them enough time to get another call in, whether they run pursuit. So. Yeah.
Have you seen that during a game where they're just confused and don't even know where to be?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
They're breathing like, oh gosh, you guys are moving really fast. Yeah.
How much smack talk is going on out there? I mean, I've never been a wide receiver. I don't know if. But you're lined up with the DB. Let's say it's press man coverage. Is he talking to you? Are you talking to him? What are y'all saying?
Usually they're saying a little bit, not too much, but I'm not saying too much. I'm just out there trying to make plays.
Just do your thing.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. Big game with Barton coming up at home this weekend. Tickets are available. Go to ErskineSports.com. I know going on the road for me was always kind of a little extra juice. You kind of feed off the hate, I guess,
Yes,
of the opposing crowd, but being at home and having all that energy behind you is pretty special too, right?
Oh, yes, sir. It's for sure a different feeling.
Yeah.
Having that home crowd behind you.
So you got 7 home games this year here at JW Bab. Tell us a little bit about that experience for you playing in front of the home crowd.
Oh, well, I just want to say I love our fans. The support is crazy.
Yeah.
Every time we have a home game, it's pretty filled on our side, on the home side. So, yeah, that's special.
I'm even seeing little kids wearing Seneca McKee jerseys. I know you've seen that on social
Yes, sir.
media, right?
Yes, sir.
That's got to be crazy for you, man.
Yeah, that's big because football is more than just a sport. That's pretty big. It's
Well, you have a chance to be a role model
Yes,
to
sir.
some of these kids.
Yeah,
Does that affect, how you maybe carry yourself or whatever?
Somewhat, yes, because I know people are watching me, so I have to make sure I have a positive attitude towards the game, make sure I'm being a good role model that they look up to.
Let's talk about your receiver room real quick here. It's not only you, but you got Jay Bellamy in there, and then a guy that just jumped off the page this week. Tell us a little bit about young Lee.
Oh, Lee, man, he's one of the hardest workers we have.
Yeah.
We when he made that play, we weren't surprised. We were just like, oh yeah, it's about to start, coming up now. Yeah, he's a special kid.
J.C. Carell's in there too.
Yes, sir. JC.
All you guys just go up and it's like Velcro hands.
Oh, yeah.
You just snatch it all out
Yes,
of there.
sir. We have a pretty deep receiving core. Our coach tell us we could be one of the best receiving core in the in the nation. We just got to keep working hard every day like we do.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
Seneca, man, best of luck to you. And,
Thank you.
And moving forward, I know you're going to have a great year. Expect big things out of this young man, redshirt sophomore Seneca McKee. Already almost 200 yards in the first game, and we're going to get a comma in that stat line. We're going to go over 1,000 this
Yes,
year,
sir.
right?
That's
Is that a goal for you before I let you go?
Well, yeah, I tried not to worry about stats, but just to keep that in the back of my head to something just to push me to go harder. Yes,
Personal goal, anything else out there you want to put out there, like personal goal wise for this season?
Personal goal. Okay, so over 1,000 yards. Try to have at least somewhere around 70 receptions to 80 receptions. a winning record for
There
the
you go.
team. Yes,
There you
I'm
go.
pretty sure we can. I got a lot of confidence in us, and I like us over a lot of teams. So a winning record and probably like 10 touchdowns.
Double digits. I
Yes,
like
sir.
it. I
Yes,
like
sir.
it. Seneca McKee, everybody. He's you'll see him wearing number 1 out there on the field this coming Saturday at JW Babb Stadium as the Erskine Flying Fleet hosts the Barton Bulldogs for their home opener this year. Seneca, best of luck, man. We'll be talking to you again soon, man.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Hey, we'll jump out, take a quick break, and be right back with more of the Flying Fleet Gridiron Revival Coaches Show live from Sports Break right here on WZLA. And welcome back to the Flying Fleet Gridiron Revival Coaches Show right here on WZLA 92.9 FM and streaming worldwide, WZLAradio.com. I'm Benji Greason, and we are live at Sports Break here in Greenwood till 8 o'clock tonight. So come on out, have yourself some dinner and some drinks. You can watch the show as well as listen to it as we have it here on the loudspeakers inside of Sports Break. I am joined now with linebacker coach and special teams coordinator, Coach Steve Howard. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm glad to be here and glad to have a football season, a real season back in the swing of things.
I mean, it's definitely weird to be back in a normal groove, I guess you could say.
Right.
Going from spring and then a couple months off, and then you get back into a routine of a fall camp and actually get the preparation time to get into full swing to get ready for September.
I mean, this is the first time this has happened at Erskine in, decades.
I mean, to have the situation where the season was shut down and then you come back and then have the uncertainty of knowing if you're going to even play a game that next fall, and then you go in and come up with a spring schedule. It was bittersweet, but I think it's better now that it is fall. It is football season.
Do you think that spring season kind of propelled you guys, got you more prepared for this, fall season, real season, whatever you want to call it?
I think it did. I think it gave guys perspective on college football, and those guys that have been there for 2 years haven't even taken a snap in that long.
Right.
And then to have to go through a 6-8 game spring season, I think those guys come to realize, okay, college football, this is real. They kind of got a taste of it. Now it's hoping to build off of that coming in this upcoming season. So
especially when game time, you're in the stadium, the ball's kicked off. I don't care how good your players are; it's hard to replicate that speed, right?
And you do your best in practice with up tempo, and you try to go as fast as you can and do those things to be successful on a Saturday. But at the same time, Saturday's different.
Yeah.
The adrenaline's pumping. There's a different feel. There's a different atmosphere.
Scoreboard matters.
And it does. The scoreboard matters. You are absolutely right. It does matter.
Yeah. You had to be pretty proud, I would think, Sunday. Maybe when you watch some film, being the linebackers and the special teams coach, the linebackers balled out, and Nathan Holland or Nolan Holland, I'm sorry, and Brandon Lane with double-digit tackles in the game. Those guys were a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, those guys they did a really good job. Did they leave some things out there on the field? I think they did. And that's something we need to improve on. And they've got to get better, and it's got to improve game by game and even practice by practice. Their level to the details and doing those things has got to increase. And special teams, I think we did some good things. There were some bright spots in the return game a little bit. You always want to score.
Right.
Definitely, you want to put points on the board on special teams, but trying to get those pieces together in the kicking game, we were okay. But other than that, it's just another game to improve and move forward on. So
right. Speaking of the special teams kicking game, kicker comes in this year, Dylan Buford from Abbeville, right down the road. Hits a couple field goals, PATs good. Kickoffs look good. You guys did a pooch kickoff almost there, right?
Yeah, we were just trying to put them in a situation and trying to not put the ball in speed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get those guys, those up back guys aren't necessarily ball carriers.
Right.
And if we can kind of steal one by them maybe muffing one and us getting down the field to get a quick turnover, by all means, let's try to do it.
Yeah.
But, the new rules are you fair catch a ball inside the 20-yard line, you get the ball in 25. So why not pooch the ball and maybe possibly get
Right,
one,
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, there's it's always an adventure when those upbacks are fair catching. You never really know what's going to happen there.
And when you can utilize that, hey, let's try to get one.
You're exactly right. Exactly right. Big game with Barton coming up. You guys went up there last year, got the win at Barton. I think 30-28 was the score there. They're coming down to Greenwood this coming Saturday, JW Babb Stadium. Tickets on sale, ErskineSports.com. Go pick those up. Parking passes as well. But Saturday, you got Barton coming in. I know you guys have already poured over some of the film of Barton. What are you expecting from them offensively this coming Saturday?
For them offensively, I think it's more of the run game. They definitely beat up the personnel a little bit. They're doing some things differently that they definitely didn't do last year, and that's where our front seven have got to be really solid this week. And again, on top of that, our back five, they can't fall asleep. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about the upcoming game, and they're going to be hungry, to be honest with you. They got a sour taste in their mouth, and I think they're looking for a slight revenge tour. But we just got to do what we do best, do our job, our 111th, and be successful.
That's right. Speaking of, and I know I just named two of your linebackers earlier, but being the linebacker coach, there's a room full of guys there that you're coaching up every day. You guys, I know you have your rotation kind of set there.
Mm-hmm.
What's the process in getting those guys in on and off the field? Is it down in distance? Is it certain whatever's happening in the flow of the game at that moment? How do you guys handle that?
It's really the flow of the game and special teams as well. I mean, our biggest deal is we want our best 11 on special teams, and if you're a starter, you're on special teams, and those guys get blows on defense. So we expect them to go full tilt on special teams, and if they need a blow, we'll get them on defense for a couple of plays or even a series, and then get them back in the rotation again that following series. But it also determines on the flow of a game, and those guys that are behind them, our expectation is that they push those guys. The twos push our ones.
Right. Seneca McKee mentioned it earlier. Says that you guys coach them up to be the best conditioned team out there with an offense that goes as fast, gas pedal offense, as Erskine's offense does. I'm sure you and Coach Hayes probably look at each other a little funny sometimes. But how do you? How do you get your guys a rest when it's just go, 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 go? Or they're conditioned for that?
I think for us defensively, for us to see it every day, it helps.
Yeah.
And you try to replicate game speed as much as you can. But we do a good job of getting those guys in shape. Now, they also have to take the understanding that in between drills and reps, they've got to go 100. They've got to go 100 miles per hour so that they are conditioning within the practice.
Right.
So we're not taking time to condition at the end and in the beginning of practice. So I think those guys do a great job of conditioning during the practice, but also we're gonna poke them a little bit. We're gonna prod them. We're gonna move them along a little bit. So those guys take pride in that conditioning aspect.
Coach Steve Howard, linebacker, special teams coordinator here with the Erskine Flying Fleet. A little bit about you, Coach. How did what stirred the fire to get you into coaching?
I played ball for a long time. My dad was my coach growing up in Little League and middle school, and I always knew I wanted to be a PE teacher and a coach in some shape, way, or form. And I know Coach Boyd will always say I almost got him fired when I was a student assistant, but when I was his,
I got to hear that story.
Yeah, you ask him about that story, he'll tell you. When I was his student assistant, I actually just fell in love and wanted to be a college football coach. And again, I've known Coach Boyd since 2006, and I knew at one point in time I wanted to coach next to him again, whatever shape, way, or form I could. And when he got the head job here, it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. And where are you originally from?
Originally from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
My wife and we moved up from Fort Myers, Florida, and it's been good. It's been really good.
Yeah. Well, I know Erskine's proud to have you. The team is you could just see the growth from the spring to this first game here. It was evident on film there, and I asked Coach Boyd about this earlier. It's cliche to say, but teams grow more in between week 1 and week 2 than any other time in the year. Do you buy into that philosophy as well?
I do, and but that also goes into the guys that, take pride in it. They've got to understand, okay, we made this mistake week 1. Now we've just got to eliminate more mistakes and be more in tuned and mentally focused in on every play, on every snap.
There you go. What's your message before you take the field against Barton Saturday? What you gonna tell your guys?
Come ready to roll. I mean, it's going to be an exciting time, and like I said, they're looking for revenge, and we've got to be on our P's and Q's and make sure we're ready to roll.
There you go. Coach Steve Howard, it's a pleasure, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we'll jump out, take a quick break, and we'll be hearing from Hope Seymour about homecoming coming up here in just a moment. It's the Flying Fleet Gridiron Revival right here on WZLA 92.9 FM live from Sports Break.